little PSA for what you're about to see. I did do the pitch meeting, but I did not record their audio because I'm stupid. I tried to enhance it and make it as clear as I possibly could, but it's not to the best quality. So I did try to subtitle everything they said because of that. I'm just to let people know that maybe you don't want to just wear headphones and listen to this. You probably want to actually watch it. But in any case, I hope you enjoy my pitch meeting for Rivet versus Blaze. Pleasure to meet you too. I have been watching Death Battle since episode 1 of the show. I was a Screw Attack fan way beforehand. I remember back in the day when you guys used to have forums on like the website of like, hey, what episodes do you want to have next and stuff like that. Like, I'm such a big fan. Sam, I don't know how much you remember Mario Party After Dark, but when you guys used to do those live streams, I was always on your side. You know, like I'm a huge fan of you guys. That's fair. Luigi was always my go-to. So how do I share my? I didn't make. I know a lot of people have been doing extravagant presentations from what I've seen. I work and stuff. I haven't had time to make like something big. I just did something little just to have something on screen for you. Sweet. So I am presenting. First of all, my name is Tristan. Pleasure to meet you, both Liam and Sam. I am presenting Blaze the Cat versus Rivet and Kit from Ratchet and Clank. Let me find it. There's a lot more to this matchup, but I'm sure just looking at this, you might think to yourself like, oh, Blaze is a Sonic character, she probably stomps. But there's a lot more to Ratchet and Clank scaling that the show's Death Battle has never touched because it hasn't been on the show since season 3. No fault of you guys. It's very hard to find good matchups for the series, admittedly. I also want to say a shout out to someone in the community named Rand. I was backed up with a lot of work and I didn't have a lot of time to compile images, so he asked if he can do it for me. So a lot of the images you see, he actually did for me while I was working, and I'm very much appreciative. Wanted to shout him out. But yeah, let's start. General connections. Both are the alternate universe counterparts to the main characters in their series. You can see that one's with Sonic, one's with Ratchet. They both start extremely untrusting and closed off before their relationships with another individual starts to break through their walls. Rivet has Kit and Blaze has Cream. Throughout the games, both these entities start making them open up more to the other characters within the games and become more trusting. And then both fought off alternate versions of their own main villains who are both tearing down multiple realities with their power. And then on the bottom you have Emperor Nefarious with the Dimensionator and Eggman Nega with, Egg Salamander, I think it's called in Sonic Rush. Both of them collapsing multiple realities just with their power alone. This is something new that you guys haven't... here's some new things that you guys haven't done with the show yet. This could be the first 3D Sonic death battle. In all these years, you guys somehow haven't had one. And these two characters already having, like, you could take the Blaze model from the New Generations game. Rivet's already got a really good model. And they won't clash with each other, so you can easily just rip them. And you can make a really fun 3D fight, which is something that a lot of Sonic fans, including myself, would be very interested to see how you guys would handle. This could be the first 2v1 death battle, and it's actually, a fair fight, because Kit isn't like Clank. She can't slow down time, but she can turn into a giant robot, which I'll show later. And this could be the first cat versus mouse death battle, almost literally. What I mean by that is we have one person who is extremely aggressive, extremely fast, but has less abilities, versus a person who's going to use tricks, going to use the environment to all of her advantage to try and essentially claim victory. So you have one person who has more direct powers and one person who uses the environment more to fight and has a lot more separate abilities. Blaze is the easiest one to understand. A lot of her abilities are like Sonic's. She has the Burst Dash, which is just a flame version of Sonic's Spin Dash. She has the Axle Jump and a homing attack, just like Sonic's jumping and homing attacks. But she can also dispel flames with her power. So any type of flame that's on the battlefield, whether it be a fire weapon or whether it be an explosion, she can just dispel. She can just get rid of. And she can also erupt flame pillars from the ground. So if she's overwhelmed with things, she can just kind of fly up into the air, erupt flames. And she can also kind of fly. I say fly there, but it's a hover. She can hover down from the ground as well. So she's a little more mobile than Sonic in a couple ways. And then obviously, the cat in the bag is Burning Blaze. After absorbing the soul emerald, she becomes faster, stronger, emits an insane amount of flames. You know what a super form is. Her super form is just the same as Sonic's, except she emits fire. She's a lot stronger, she's a lot faster, but she can still get knocked around. So it's not like she just barrels through everything. There are weapons. If weapons are strong enough, she will get knocked around, and you can undo her or try to outlast her time limit. These are different gadgets that Rivet has. Not so much the weapons. She can create after images of herself. She has a tether where she can attach to dimensional rifts that are popping up all over the place and just kind of pull herself through them. She has gravity boots that let her walk on metal surfaces, and the hover boots, which lets her glide around the ground with high speeds, as well as do a glide, kind of like what Blaze's is. There's different ways they have air combat. She's still one of Emperor Nefarious ships, and she has Kit. Kit turns into a giant robot who can fly and shoot missiles. So even in Burning Blaze, there's still ways she can content her with her in the sky. Right. I don't know why I animated one slide here, but these are just some of her general weapons around here. I have a second slide that goes into the more specific ones. She can fire energy bullets, rockets, grenades, and buzzsaws. She has a weapon called the Negatron Collider, which goes through projectiles. So if Blaze starts to shoot any flames at her, that weapon can go just straight through it, no matter how powerful those flames are. And she has a Topiary Sprinkler, which can wrap around the opponent. It can wrap up an opponent in a topiary bush and even turn them into one. Blaze would just burn through that, but it is funny. Rivet can have an army with her. She can throw out different types of things, like little robots with the Glove of Doom. She has the fungi, which are small mushroom creatures that shoot energy attacks, and the drill hounds, which barrel through the ground and pop back up and explode on enemies. So she has multiple different ways to shoot Blaze while she's afar, to keep her distance while Blaze is, of course, obviously superior speed, would be trying to barrel through all of these types of weapons and all these defenses. But she has a lot of ways that can contend with Blaze, just keeping her afar while she hits her with the big shit. What is the big shit, though? I have a few specific weapons I want to highlight. This is the Pixelizer. If you don't know what it does, it turns the enemy that you shoot with it into like kind of bit crunched versions of themselves. It's trying to emulate like a 16-bit, 8-bit game, and that could lead to a fun part of a death battle. You can have a 2D animated sprite fighting a 3D character, which has never happened on Death Battle. It only lasts for a couple seconds, but it'd still be a fun little moment. You have the head. Yeah, there's so many things you could do with this fight. I love it. You got the Headhunter. It says here that you can slow down time with its provided scope. You can take that literally if you want. You don't have to. But it is worth noting that the game itself acknowledges that there are time-altering powers within the scope. So even if she is getting blitzed, she could kind of even the speed there. Black Hole Storm, it shoots literal black holes. They're tiny black holes, and once you upgrade it, you can actually start shooting slightly larger black holes that'll suck in and just kill enemies. And then the big boy, the Rhino 8, it lets you bend whole dimensions to your will. In the game, you use it to rip holes in reality, and it usually drops someone from a different franchise into the game, or just objects in general. But it does break into the dimensions canonically within Ratchet & Clank's story, that it is breaking into these other franchises, which include Song of the Deep, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, Horizon Sly Cooper, and Sunset Overdrive. All of these make canonical appearances within Rift Apart, and all of their universes in the lore is also they are canonically parallel universes. Sly and Jak specifically are name dropped by the person who is Ratchet's father within the game, so it's not far-fetched to say that like all these dimensional things going on, all this dimensional breaking that's going on in Rivet's universe, it's affecting theirs too. And that's on a huge different scale than just Ratchet and Rivets. And I added this and other timelines. This is a character that's only in the Ratchet and Clank 2016 game, and that is a reboot of the series that sold bad and didn't go anywhere. But you can still summon this creature with it, meaning that they are in some way linked, and the Dimensionator can also go into alternate timelines. I have this slide. Debate's not as big of a stump as you would think. Blaze obviously takes speed, but she doesn't take strength. Rivet is comparable to Ratchet, who can pilot ships going past light speed and avoid obstacles, at the very least meaning that Rivet's reaction speed would at least be that fast, while her movement speed wouldn't be. Ratchet's weapons and Deadlock were able to destroy and take hits from a machine that was said to have enough plasma mortars to destroy a small star system. And you can just destroy that thing with your normal weapons, and it, like you guys said, Omni-Man vs. Bardock, it can take its own fire, meaning it has to at least be that powerful. Even with Burning Blaze, Rivet took down Emperor Nefarious, who was made more powerful by using the power of the Dimensionator. That was collapsing multiple universes, like you just saw. But that also includes Little Big Planet, Intelligent Cube, and Knack, if you remember Knack. Ratchet in the remake can take hits from a hypernova, which is about 100 supernovas. And what does Blaze fight with again? Oh yeah, fire. You'd have to argue that she can burn hotter than 100 supernovas to be able to one-shot Rivet, essentially. That's just to say that the debate itself, it's not... people would think it's very far-fetched. It's not. Burning Blaze does still have a wrench in the debate, but I think there's a lot here to say that Rivet could keep up with the faster stats and might be able to outlast Burning Blaze. These are just fun fan arts I found, honestly. I just wanted to show you that people in the community support this. I have all the credits there. It's just cool stuff. And then this is the last slide. I knew I didn't have much time, so I wanted to get a little bit of, like, you see all these different thumbnails that people made. There is support for this out there. So on my channel, I run a channel called Plymph. I ran a poll asking which matchup I should pitch to you guys, giving them 4 options to choose from, and this matchup won with 42% of the vote, almost 43. Yeah, a lot of people really wanted this. And like it says right there, I don't want to convince you why I want to do this episode. I want to convince you why you want to do this episode. There's a lot of things that you can do with this episode that you guys haven't done before that I feel like could be exciting. So my last general question would be, what do you guys think makes a great death battle episode? Like, what gets you excited to work on it? Because I guarantee you I can answer that question with this matchup right here. I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but... Tell a good story. You can easily have a conflict between these two. Makes sense. Eggman Nega was fucking up dimensions. They both have a goal to stop an evil scientist. And there's legitimate reasons why Blaze would see a thing like Kit, especially if you were to start the fight with Kit being in the robotic form fighting off things, that Blaze would immediately go to attack it. You can have a kind of a story about them, like... They both kind of build up people within their stories, but in a really aggressive way, so you can have them build up each other within the fight. Sam said it was... What was it? You said honor the series? Celebrate both franchises. So, it's a perfect opportunity to celebrate both franchises. Is because this whole dimension thing is happening, we see old areas in Ratchet and Clank games, we see old areas in Sonic games, with Sonic Generations and all that kind of stuff, and we know all the universes are ripping apart. You can have the fight be going through different rifts, different holes within the fight animation itself. You see some Green Hill Zone, you see some Metropolis from Ratchet and Clank. You can kind of like go through all these iconic areas and still have it make sense because the dimensions are blowing up on each other, because you can see in these games that this happens. There's plenty of areas in Rift Apart where you go back to older areas or other dimensional versions of other areas. And you got, again, the 3D models exist. You guys can take locations that look just as good. They wouldn't like clash with your art styles. And you can just celebrate the franchise by showing all these different unique areas throughout just a single 3-4 minute fight animation. I don't know how.
I think it's a really fun matchup. I think the animation potential alone is like super, just great. There'd be so much fun stuff. Good excuse to bring Ratchet and Clank in.
I don't know. Also, really like that top right thumbnail on that slide that you guys should be seeing right now. That was my favorite one I found so far. I think I went over time a little bit, so I apologize.
You're good. You're fine. This is a great pitch. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you supporting the Kickstarter.
Oh, 100%.
Bring the show back. It's been awesome. I hope you like
Yeah.
it.
Dude, the newest one is one of my favorite ones. As soon as that got announced, I was like, it's a stomp, but like, I just want to see these two characters fight. Come on, like that's gonna be amazing, and it delivered. It delivered, and you wrote that, right, Liam?
Yes.
Hands off to you. One last thing before I was gonna say one last thing before I go is initially, I didn't purchase the pack to pitch to Ben and Chad because I didn't think like they would get it in a way. Like I've seen how they react in the ballot banters. I've seen how they talk about certain matchups, and it's like, their style maybe it's not the best, but as soon as I saw that you guys were opening it up, you guys in the ballot banters were the most open to my kind of weird suggestions. I had Kaguya versus Ultimisia, and Sam went on a tirade like, "Oh, dude, Final Fantasy VIII, worst one." No, I'm kidding. And then and then Tomba versus. Yeah, you did. I was just messing. And then Tomba versus Spike, you were the only one that was like, "Oh, dude, that's like my generation right there." So it's like these guys like the matchups I like. So I really wanted to like I spent extra money after the fact because I was like, dude, I need like these guys will get it.
Get it, and I do think I get it. It seems like it would be a really fun matchup. Like, I mean, the second I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I get that.
Yeah. Thank you guys for taking the chance to hear all our pitches. Everyone in the community is loving these. We all love your show. We want it to go on longer than we are alive. You'll still make cameos, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh. Was it the one about this being the first death battle that you can smell the combatant coming because of the brimstone line? Oh, thank you. That makes me giddy a little bit. That makes me a little giddy. I won't take up more of your time. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Have a good one.